Hello and welcome to Dr. Said's English World. This is actually going to be video number 2 in our series of videos in which we learn how to write in English. As you remember, in video number 1, we learned how to write a short paragraph consisting of 9 sentences, and I promised that in video number 2, we're going to learn how to make our paragraph longer. So what we're going to do is to change the paragraph we prepared in video number 1 from a paragraph consisting of 9 sentences into a paragraph consisting of 14 sentences. No, I promised that we're going to change it into a paragraph consisting of 14 sentences, but I'm going to add one more sentence, so there are going to be 15 sentences. أهلا بكم القناة. طبعا ده الفيديو رقم 2 في سلسلة الفيديوهات اللي احنا نتعلم فيها الكتابة باللغة الإنجليزية. في الفيديو الأولاني احنا كنا حضرنا فقرة مكونة من 9 جمل، وكنت وعدتكم ان احنا ان شاء الله في الفيديو رقم 2 اللي هو الفيديو الحالي هنحولها إلى فقرة، نكبرها نخليها فقرة مكونة من 14 جملة، لكن أنا قررت إن أنا أخليها فقرة مكونة من 15 جملة. Okay, if you have a look at the screen, this is the paragraph we prepared in video number 1. طبعا ده دي الفقرة اللي احنا جهزناها كتبناها في الفيديو الأولاني. About the usage of the internet, عن استخدامات الإنترنت. Let's have a look at it in detail to see the number of sentences. Okay, let's just have a look at our paragraph in detail, sentence by sentence, to count the sentences. This is sentence number 1, the topic sentence, and it was followed by a lead-in. So part 1 consists of 2 sentences. طبعا ده الجزء الأولاني، عندي جملة الموضوع topic sentence، وعندي lead in حاليا مكون من جملتين, and then we have the supporting sentences. So this is the first supporting sentence, and it is supported with another sentence. I mean, it contains some examples. طبعا دي بقى هنبدأ في الجمل اللي هي الداعمة، اللي هم المفروض 3 جمل وكل جملة عليها جملة أخرى داعمة. So I'm going to have a total of 6 sentences. So this is the second supporting sentence, and this is the sentence which actually shows some details, and then this is the third supporting sentence, and this is actually the sentence which contains some details. So I have now a total of 8 sentences. 2 sentences for part 1, the topic sentence and the lead-in, and 6 sentences for part 2, the supporting sentences. And finally, I have sentence number 9, which is the concluding sentence. ودي آخر جملة اللي هي جملة رقم 9 اللي هي جملة الخاتمة. So now let's see how we are going to change this paragraph, which consists of 9 sentences, into a paragraph consisting of 15 sentences. خلينا نشوف بقى ازاي هنحول الفقرة دي اللي مكونة من 9 جمل إلى فقرة مكونة من 15 جمل. Okay, let's see how we are going to make our paragraph longer part by part. Okay, so we're going to start with part 1. Actually, part 1 consists of 2 sentences, as you know, the topic sentence and the lead-in. Okay. So we're going to add one more sentence. It's going to be a general statement. خلونا نشوف إن شاء الله إزاي إحنا هنكبر الفقرة اللي عندنا. هنشوفها جزء باي جزء. الجزء الأولاني حسب ما أتذكره كان مكون من جملتين اللي هي topic sentence lead in، وإحنا نضيف جملة ثالثة اللي هي a general statement. So now we're going to have a longer part 1 consisting of 3 sentences instead of 2. في الحالة دي بقى الجزء الأولاني أنا مش هسميه تاني بقى اللي هو topic sentence، هسميه part 1 الجزء الأولاني، هيكون من 3 جمل بدل من جملتين. Okay. Now let's move to part 2. And part 2, as you remember, consists of 3 supporting sentences. And for each sentence, we have one extra sentence in which we have some examples or details. طبعا في الجزء الثاني اللي هي supporting sentences أنا عندي إجمالي 6 جمل. 3 جمل اللي هي فيها النقاط 3 وفي 3 جمل أخرى اللي هي عبارة عن شرح أو تفاصيل أو أمثلة لكل جملة. So I have a total of 6 sentences. Okay, I'm going to add 2 more supporting sentences, and for each supporting sentence, I'm going to have an extra sentence. So I'm going to have extra 2 sentences, so a total of 4 sentences. ففي الحالة دي أنا طبعا عندي 6 جمل في هي supporting sentences. هضيف نقطتين تانيين، كل نقطة بجملة، وكل جملة هيكون عليها جملة تانية إضافية شرح ليها أو تفاصيل لها، فهيكون عندي 4 جمل. So I'm going to have a longer part 2 consisting of 10 sentences instead of 6. كده يبقى الجزء الثاني هيكون عندي مكون من 10 جمل بدل 6 جمل. So I'm going to have extra 4 sentences. هيكون عندي 4 جمل زيادة. Okay. As for part 3, which is the concluding sentence, okay, actually it consists of 1 sentence, and I'm going to add an extra sentence. So I'm going to have a longer part 3 consisting of 2 sentences instead of 1. طبعا الجزء الثالث اللي هو الجملة الخاتمة concluding sentence كان مكون من جملة واحدة، هضيف له جملة كمان زيادة أو هيكون عندي جملتين بدل جملة. So I'm going to have 3 sentences for part 1. هيبقى عندي 3 جمل الجزء الأولاني plus 10 sentences for part 2. Okay, plus طبعا 10 جمل للجزء الثاني plus 2 sentences for part 3. So it's going to be a total of 15 sentences. جملتين للجزء الثالث هيبقى كده الإجمالي 15. يبقى أنا حولت الفقرة عندي من 9 جمل إلى 15 جمل. Okay, now so we're going to change our 9 sentence paragraph into a 15 sentence paragraph, and let's first prepare our longer part 1. Okay, remember part 1 in our shorter paragraph consists of a topic sentence, this topic sentence. Let me just activate this is the topic sentence. So this is sentence number 1, and also it contains a lead-in. So this is sentence number 2. Okay, and I'm going to add a general statement, a third sentence. هضيف أنا بقى طبعا جملة ثالثة اللي هم جملتين اللي هي topic sentence lead in. I'm going to add a general statement to part 1. Okay, so I'm going to have 3 sentences instead of 2 sentences. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at some general statements, related to the topic we are talking about. For example, humans cannot function without the internet anymore. By the way, a general statement is related to the topic, but it's not the topic sentence. It is a general sentence about, for example, in our case, about the internet. طبعا هي general statement الجملة العامة هي جملة ترتبط بالموضوع احنا بنتكلم عنه. We are talking about the usage of the internet. So this sentence number 1, is about the internet, but it's not the topic sentence. Okay, it doesn't refer to the main idea we are talking about. طبعا هي ما بتتكلمش عن الفكرة الرئيسية اللي احنا بنتكلم عنها. هي لها علاقة بالإنترنت ولكن ليست الفكرة الرئيسية اللي احنا بنتكلم عنها.
This is another general statement. The internet has occupied a great part of our lives. And this is a third general statement. The internet has made our lives easier and more convenient. Okay, so now we have a longer part 1 of the paragraph. Let's see how it is longer. I'm going to use this general statement. I'm going to add it to part 1. Here it is. Humans cannot function without the internet. And here are the other 2 sentences. The internet has a lot of uses. I'm going to talk about the uses of the internet. So now I have a longer part 1 consisting of part 1 consisting of 3 sentences instead of 2. Okay. Now let's move to part 2. And part 2, I'm talking about the supporting sentences. And as I told you, I'm going to add 2 more supporting sentences. If you remember, this is the first supporting sentence in our paragraph, and I added 1 more sentence which contains details or examples, and this is the second one. Okay, and this is a supporting sentence, a sentence which contains some examples, and this is the third sentence, and that's why I say finally. And this is a sentence which contains some details. So now I have 6 sentences, and I'm going to change these 6 sentences into 10 sentences by adding more details. I'm going to add 4 more sentences. Okay, I'm going to add 2 points, and for each point I'm going to add 1 extra sentence containing details or examples. Okay, now we are going to add 2 more supporting sentences to part 2 of our paragraph. You remember we have 3 points. We talked about 3 points in our short paragraph. Number 1 is communication, number 2 is education, and number 3 is trade and e-commerce. I'm going to add 2 more points, and for each point I'm going to have 2 sentences. طبعا احنا في الفقرة اللي احنا كتبناها اتكلمنا عن 3 نقط. كل نقطة اتكلمنا عليها في جملتين. أنا هضيف نقطتين كمان، وكل نقطة هضيف لها جملتين. So point number 4 is going to be creating jobs. So here is the supporting sentence for point number 4. The internet has helped in creating more jobs and income opportunities. And this is the sentence which contains some details. Nowadays, because of COVID-19, most people do their jobs on the internet. Now let's add a 5th point. It's going to be about information. And also for 8, we're going to have 2 sentences. هنضيف النقطة الخامسة وبرضه هنضيف لها جملتين. It is the most important source of information. It means refers to the internet. Okay, and the second sentence, you can browse the internet and get any information you need easily and quickly. So we added 2 more points with 2 more sentences for each point. طبعا احنا أضفنا نقطتين. Number 4 creating jobs, وطبعا أضفنا معها جملتين. And number 5 information, وطبعا أضفنا معها جملتين كمان. Okay, now let's have a look at our supporting sentences after adding the 4 sentences, the 2 points in 4 sentences. خلينا بقى نبص على الفقرة بعد ما ضفنا لها النقطتين، والنقطتين طبعا ب4 جمل، فيهم 4 جمل زيادة. Okay, so let's have a look at the supporting sentences in detail. Okay, so this is the first point, and we added a sentence containing some details. as you know, and this is the second point, second, and we added a sentence containing some details. And this is the third point. And by the way, for the third point we said finally, okay, because there were 3 points only. But we're going to change finally now into third. So what we're going to do is that we're going to delete finally and we're going to add third. Okay? Because I'm going to add more points. I'm going to add 2 more points. So this is actually the sentence which contains some details or about the third point. And now I come to adding the fourth point, point number 4, النقطة الرابعة, and it consists of 2 sentences. Fourth, the internet has helped in creating more jobs and income opportunities. Nowadays, because of COVID-19, most people do their jobs on the internet. And for the 5th point, I'm going to say finally, because this is going to be the last point in part 2. طبعا أنا دي النقطة الخامسة عشان بس أنا قلت finally ليه؟ لأنها النقطة الأخيرة. So finally, it is the most important source of information. You can browse the internet and get any information you need easily and quickly. So now, instead of 6 sentences, we have 10 sentences. So we have 4 extra sentences. Okay, now let's move to part 3, how to make part 3 longer. And by part 3, I mean the concluding sentence. Okay? You remember, I told you that we can write the concluding sentence in 3 different ways. Number A is to restate the topic sentence, which means to write it using different words. طبعا فاكرين أنا قلت إن إحنا جملة الخاتمة أو الجزء الثالث من الفقرة ممكن أكتبها ب3 طرق. إما إن أنا أعمل إعادة صياغة لجملة الموضوع، بكتبها بكلمات مختلفة, or for example, here, as you can see, the internet has a lot of important uses. This is what we used in our first paragraph. دي اللي استخدمناها في الفقرة الأولانية عندنا. Or you can make a summary of the main points. And you remember, you can say, for example, to conclude or in conclusion, people use the internet for communication, education, and e-commerce. طبعا لأن احنا عندنا 3 نقاط اللي هم communication, education, and e-commerce. عملنا لهم summary هنا. Or you can have a mixture of both A and B. You can have a mixture of A and B, which means that you can have something like, as you can see, the internet had a lot of important uses. دي طبعا A. We can use it for communication, education, and e-commerce, and this is actually B. So here I have a mixture of A and B. طبعا C هنا هو خليط من الحالة الأولى اللي أنا عدس فيها صياغة الجملة اللي هي A، والحالة الثانية اللي هي B اللي أنا بعمل فيها ملخص للنقاط الرئيسية. C هنا عبارة عن خليط بين الاثنين. Okay, to make part 3 longer, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use C, okay, but I'm going to add some more details. You remember we added 2 points, 4 and 5, so I'm going to add some more details about creating jobs and getting information. طبعا أنا هعمل إيه؟ أنا هستعمل C اللي هي خليط which is a mixture of both A and B، لكن هضيف بعض التفاصيل لأن إحنا أضفنا نقطتين لو تذكروا، أضفنا نقطة عن creating jobs وأضفنا نقطة عن getting information. فالنقطتين دول هضيفهم للsummary. I'm going to add them to the summary. So instead of talking about 3 points, communication, education, and e-commerce, I'm going to add creating jobs and getting information. فبدل السمري عندي الملخص يكون في ال3 نقاط دول، لا كمان هضيف 4 و5. So let's have a look at it. As you can see, the internet has a lot of important uses. So this is number one. We can use it for communication, education, e-commerce, creating jobs, and getting information. This is sentence number 2, and I added 2 points, creating jobs and getting information. So now we have a part 3 consisting of 2 sentences instead of only 1 sentence. كده الوقت أصبح عندي الجزء الثالث أو الجزء الأخير من الفقرة مكون من جملتين بدل من جملة واحدة. Okay, let's now have a look at the paragraph after being made longer. So this is the whole paragraph consisting of 15 sentences instead of only 9. So part 1, which consists of 2 sentences, now consists of 3 sentences. Part 2, which consisted of 6 sentences, now consists of 10 sentences. Part 3, which consisted of only 1 sentence, now consists of 2 sentences. So we have a total of 15 sentences. Okay, now we could make our paragraph longer. We could change our 9-sentence paragraph into a 15-sentence paragraph. Okay, I mean, we added 6 more sentences. In video number 3, the coming video, we're going to move from writing paragraphs to writing essays. We're going to start with writing a short essay consisting of 14 sentences. في الفيديو ده اللي هو فيديو رقم 2 احنا طبعا كبرنا الفقرة عندنا من 9 جمل ل 15 جملة. في الفيديو القادم إن شاء الله للفيديو رقم 3 هنبدأ ننتقل من كتابة الفقرة لكتابة المقال. هنبدأ مقال قصير متكون من 14 جملة. So this is the end of our video. Looking forward to seeing you in another video إن شاء الله. السلام عليكم.